So I've been coming to the events here in the Hyatt in Melbourne, CIO Edge, I think since 2010 or 11, every year. I originally was supporting Jim's work as an analyst, and I've become a CIO in 2014 and have attended this event every time. It always has high quality content, and it's a good opportunity to meet vendors, the vendor community, in a relatively efficient way, and then to consider content from the work that, for example, Peter Wheel has been bringing forward, which is high quality, and then to interact with everyone. It's a good social event as well.
What I love about ADAPT is it's localised to the industry that I work in. There's so much similarities in the Australian-New Zealand environment. We're faced with similar contextual, cultural challenges, and what this network really brings us is together. And what it realises is that we're all facing similar challenges. Sometimes it's quite hard to be an executive leader. It's quite isolating. You're the person leading the team. And it's nice just to network with people that are facing similar challenges. And I love that ADAPT brings that network together. And it's quite a powerful network. It's a network of futuristic leaders, and it's a network of people that are really trying to change their industries. And I love that ADAPT not only brings those networks together, but kind of grounds that network in research that's relevant to our context, and that's the difference for ADAPT for me.
I love you always have a great program, lots of really interesting speakers with interesting topics, but I also love all of the networking, and also some of the vendor chats have been quite good too. So a lot of other events don't give me that all-round value.
Look, for me, and I think I talked about this earlier, it's a very rare opportunity to be amongst peers. I get the most value actually out of the roundtables. To be hearing from people who have many of the same war stories and scars, but from different organisations, and hearing about their challenges, their priorities, what they're looking forward to, what they're afraid of, what's hurting them, but also how they're solving problems is hugely valuable. And for that alone, doing it in person is great. I'm sure everyone can do it online, but being in person gives it a really different edge.
Yeah, I've been lucky to attend multiple ADAPT events, and the reason why I come back is threefold. The first one is the speakers. I really find them very informative, and they're talking about the future, and I'm always thinking about the future. The second one is I really enjoy the one-on-ones. I think it's a great opportunity. Rather than talking to salespeople, you talk to really some of the key execs in those organisations, and you gain a real insight where they're heading within their product sets, and how do I apply that back in the Southeast border. And it's always great to catch up with your peers and networking with people.
I think the quality of research that ADAPT provides is excellent. The way it's tailored to an Australian audience and the way I can gain insights from my peers is superb. The second thing I like is being able to network with like-minded peers, both at the round tables, at the tables that we do, and the way the whole event is constructed to get such powerful insights, relationships and connections in such a short space of time is excellent.
It's a couple of things. The first one is catching up with my peers. So I spent a lot of the time while I was here actually in the outer area rather than in the vendor meetings. Don't know I get value out of the vendor meetings, but I catch up with people from my former industries and from where I'm going, and I make those new connections. And for me, that networking and that peer discussion is the primary driver. And the secondary one is catching up with the vendors, because it gives me a chance to ask questions, but not in a formal manner. And by that I mean, I'll be talking to some people that I know, we'll have a conversation, and then an hour later, or I've been doing something at work in the last week or two, I'll meet with the vendor, and it becomes very much a question that I can ask at that point in time and move forward. And I think that's great. And I've got some great relationships with the vendors, and it's great to meet them and catch up with this type of talk.
Look, two things. As part of the role I do, I really need to have a good feel for the future of the cloud and demand for data and development of data infrastructure. and I get a real sense of that from the discussions during the day, and obviously all the keynote sessions that we go to. That's a primary thing. And then the second thing is many of the client organizations or the ecosystem, the organizations in the ecosystem that I work in come here, so it's great to see everybody, and so they're the two reasons.
One of the reasons I like joining ADAPT is it's a community that comes together that have common experiences, common interests, and are willing to learn from each other. I love the fact that you have academia, so we partner with someone like MIT, and then also bring industry experts who've gone through similar challenges that you're going through. And it's a fairly open community that like to share. We learn from each other. The data and the insights, the case studies are, I think, fantastic. They're quite relevant. And so far to every event that I've been, I've taken something that I can then implement with my team quite readily and openly, which I think is great. So yeah, thank you.
That's a very simple question. Content, that's what it's about. It's relevant. Every event is different. Every event is relevant. And I inevitably walk out of here with days of reflection that I can then sit back with and just kind of process as I'm going through the next week. Sometimes I'll spend an hour on the plane going home, and I'll think, oh, that's this, that was fascinating, this was great, that was great. And then I'll have a look at the presentation, oh, that's right, I remember that too, and I remember this and I remember that. And it's not about taking notes. One thing I don't do is take notes at these kind of things. I want to see the presentation, I remember all the key parts that come out of it, because then I'm concentrating on what's being said, not concentrating on writing notes. And that's something else I do too. But it's the content, it's relevant, really interesting people. I just, to do this session, I had to walk out on a really interesting presentation. So I was kind of heartbroken to come here and talk with you guys. But it's from go to woe, 8:30 in the morning till 5 o'clock in the afternoon. It's just full on content, and that's fantastic. And really, ADAPT is the only organisation doing this kind of stuff that has. There's no lull in the day. It's all fantastic content from the start to the finish, and that's worth the price of admission.
I've come to ADAPT events over a number of years, I suppose for a couple of reasons. One, it is an opportunity to network with my peers, people from different industries playing similar roles, and people who I may not bump into in the normal course of business. Two, I think it is a good opportunity to get across research. In many cases, it's been tailored for the Australian market rather than just a global number. I think I've used it on occasion to bring colleagues from ASX and ComSec when I was previously there. And that's actually helpful when you take some of your team out of the office and spend some time actually being able to contemplate trends and opportunities that are perhaps outside of the field of vision if you just focus on the day-to-day. And I think those are the key reasons. There's good quality conversations with peers, colleagues, partners, suppliers, and some Australian tailored research.
So I think ADAPT being a local Aussie firm, definitely we should back it up, that's for sure. Great to go ADAPT. But I think ADAPT brings lots of value to the business and technology community in terms of the way you guys are arranging the events. It's a great value in terms of learning, in terms of socialization, networking with the people, and I think also thinking about what the future ready technology will come, and bringing the right speakers on the panel, having the right suppliers and vendors and customers partnerships. I think it's the right platform for all the techie and the business leaders to come and learn from each other. So thank you so much for arranging it.
I always think these are very well targeted at topics which have a lot of interest to the CIO community, and to me this time that focus on value creation, which I know is one of the two real themes of today, was just absolutely on the ball. I'm really, really interested in hearing what both the speakers have to say and also perspectives from mine.
Really, it's about being connected, learning new things, sharing experiences, and the ability to have conversations. So, I think we don't really appreciate that by connecting with people, we're actually going to enrich ourselves, learn new experiences. And through that process, you become a better person, you become a better leader, you learn things that you wouldn't normally get from reading a book or watching a video or something like that. You'd start sometimes challenging of your perceptions or thoughts and ideas is what you need, and so it's the value that you get from coming to it.
The sheer experience in the room, that vibe, that understanding, and the questions I think that was flowing, or the topics that were discussed, it allowed you to rethink a lot of things, because when you are in your own silo, you kind of look at it and understand from your perspective. But seeing that other people are kind of in the same boat doesn't give you comfort, but still it allows you to say that, okay, you are on the journey, and it gives you a bit of a marker and a roadmap to say, that's the way.
Today was the Peter Weil measuring of value. How do we measure value, value capture, value creation? And that was the seeing his research was the thing that really piqued my interest, and seeing what it could do to help me measure how we are going in our business of aged care.
So selfishly, I was here to see what happens in other areas of the industry per se. I also wanted to have a view of, yes, we are on this modernization journey at the moment, and we went through a massive RFP, and I'm aware of a fair few technologies out there, but is there something else that's new, so that I can see how it best fits our ecosystem? I caught up with Immuta just a few minutes back, and I actually like their product. So I just want to know what else is happening in the industry, not just in the telco space, but in the other industries, in the data space overall per se, and just get an idea of where we are at with as opposed to everyone else.
The value I get out of coming is meeting with my peers that I don't get a lot of time to meet with, across not just education, but across banking and finance, where I did work, and a whole range of industries where I've never worked. I find that the way the day is set up, and the opportunity to network and meet with vendors, where it's not a hard sell, it's a very much more relaxed. I just spent 10 minutes talking about a gym with one of the vendors. It's pretty much all we talked about. But we built a relationship which we can both leverage in the future. So that's the value for me.
Yeah, I noticed that ADAPT has a very good collaborations with the industry leaders and a lot of organizations. Through that, you can capture quite a lot of insight related to how the data and AI journey of the organizations, and you can understand what are the bottlenecks which may hinder the journey of this journey. I think ADAPT play a good role sharing the knowledge in terms of insights and empower people and leaders to drive this mission.